Personally, I think one of the biggest and most important lessons you learn as you get older is that people will inevitably let you down. On its surface, this is a very cynical statement to make. On its surface, it sounds like anytime I become acquainted with a person, I'm just counting down the days until they disappoint me in some way. Well, that's simply not true. Really, it just means that when someone does let me down, it doesn't hurt as much. After all, I can at least tell myself I saw it coming. I guess you could say it's a form of self-preservation. Despite all the cynical beliefs that I hold, and trust me, there are many of them, I still somehow tend to see the best in people, give them the benefit of the doubt. After all, we are just people, and people are incredibly fallible. That's why I have a hard time subscribing to most religions. Their holy books are, in fact, written by people, and unlike a hypothetical God, people make mistakes. All the time, in fact. Some of these mistakes have major theological consequences. A translation of a translation of a translation just can't be 100% inerrant. There's no way. But I digress. Many people in my life have let me down. In some cases, I had to cut them off completely because their transgression was too egregious for me to continue the relationship. Other times, I decide to look past it and chalked it up as growing pains. Growing as a person. In these instances, these are people I know in real life. Sometimes people I looked up to. But what about when it happens on the internet? As a 22-year-old, it's safe to say that I grew up on the internet. I've made quite a few video vignettes about it, and as such, I grew up watching various YouTubers on this very platform. And believe it or not, despite a lot of people's childhood phase being outed as abusers, or maybe not for legal reasons pedophiles, or have aligned themselves a bit too closely with radical figures, I've come into adulthood with my memories from middle school mostly untainted. Unless, of course, some big scandal that I somehow managed to miss marred the legacy of the LINKZ, or I don't know. Is it a good idea to microwave this? To be fair, those played a more minor role for me than the creatures, which did meet its end in a somewhat messy way. One important thing to mention is that by the time Jordan and Dan graced my subscription feed sitting on a grassy knoll, I had long since stopped watching the creatures. After all, my favorites were long gone, James doing his thing on Couch Hop, which also met a less than satisfactory end, and Seamus disappearing into the ether, and so the blow was not a very hard one. We all saw it coming. What was less known, however, was how things were going behind the scenes. If you are curious, the YouTube channel Culture Clash made a very nice, concise retrospective video on the rise and fall of YouTube's first major content house, so I won't go very much into detail, but my main takeaway from that saga was that you should not mix friends with business. It's basically guaranteed to end poorly. What was also funny to me in a not funny way was how many times everyone joked in videos and on the podcast Creature Talk about how mean Jordan was, and as it happens, he was more or less the main reason everything fell apart. It reminds me of someone else everyone claimed was a dick in a hee-hee-ha-ha way before it turned out to be true. Anyway, all that is to say that not only have people in my actual life let me down in various degrees, figures I admired on the internet have as well. And as more kids quite literally grow up on the internet, it's bound to happen a lot more frequently for them. The person who inspired me to make this video is TikToker Sienna, which is a weird way to put it, but as I was watching the drama unfold, I kept asking myself, why are we expecting so much from these people? If you don't know who I'm talking about, fellow YouTuber Jay Aubrey made a pretty good video detailing the whole situation, which I highly recommend you watch to get a full scope of it, but for a really rushed explanation, an internet pretty person named Sienna May got in some pretty deep doo-doo for her unhealthy relationship with her fake online boyfriend. That included some maybe not for legal reasons sexual assault. When all of this was going down, Sienna May was 17 going on 18, and this was maybe last year. Now, I'm by no means saying that it's normal and natural for 18-year-old girls to maybe not for legal reasons molest their passed out crush allegedly in a video game. She committed a crime and paid the price of reputational ruin for it, but come on, why are we expecting grown-up levels of accountability from I mean, let's face it, a child. And why are we being surprised that this super young person who has no meaningful life experience refuses to act like an adult in this situation and fully understand the gravity of it when they just aren't one? Perhaps I'm having trouble understanding this because Sienna's fans are likely younger than her, and as a result, much younger than me. Despite the fact that a lot of people who watch my videos apparently think I'm a fetus, I am, in fact, 22. I guess I don't wear my jaded world weariness on my face or in my voice, but yes, I am 4 years and some change older than Sienna. Not a lot, but it certainly feels like a lifetime. And let me tell you, I kinda expected nothing more from her. Teenagers are kinda idiots. Young adults, such as myself, are also kinda idiots. As adults, we know this. However, considering Sienna's fans are likely in the 13 to 17-year-old age group, and this is a huge assumption, so just work with me here, this is, in fact, someone they look up to. She is older, and to them, wiser. A big sister figure even. They expect maturity from her because, to them, she is mature. To me, a person who is older and knows better, however, she's just an immature kid who's never been told no, and as a result, never learned to respect boundaries, and is having to learn that in a very public way. The truth is that a lot of girls, regular, degular, non-famous girls, learn this lesson at some point in their lives. You can't make the boy you like you back no matter how hard you try. Most don't progress to the point of maybe not for legal reasons, sexual assault in a video game, hypothetically. Please don't show your lawyer this video. It's just that usually we don't get Business Insider articles written about us that will exist for time immemorial. This video isn't really about Sienna, which, I mean, if you've made it this far, you've likely realized that. It's about her fans. The people who've expected a lot from her after this situation and were let down when she failed to deliver. The ones who are probably just now learning this big lesson. The lesson that your fave will let you down, and it's okay. What they did may not be okay. In some cases, it's very, very much not okay and will never be. However, in the grand scheme of things, life goes on for you. I'm not gonna make an argument about separating the art from the artist because I feel like this video is getting too long, but you have to be able to move on. Over time, I've realized that I have some pretty young people in my audience. According to analytics, most of my viewers are around my age or older, but I know the youngins exist, so I want to talk directly to you. Hello kids, it's me. You're at a point in your life where you likely have several people that you look up to. Your mom, your dad, an older sibling or a cousin, an aunt or uncle, maybe it's a Minecraft YouTuber, a TikToker, a Twitch streamer. Me? God, I hope not. One thing you must absolutely realize is that they are people. And like I said before, people are incredibly fallible. They will slip up. It's not even a matter of if, but when. Sometimes in minor ways. But sometimes they commit crimes. But when that happens, and it will happen, you have to be ready for a little bit of heartbreak. This kind of heartbreak is a little different, in my experience, than finding out your crush wants nothing to do with you. It hurts a little deeper and for longer. So, I don't have a magical explanation for what to do when this happens. I know, anticlimactic. I can't tell you what to do with these emotions or how to resolve them because I don't know myself. But as much as it hurts when it does happen, at the risk of sounding toxically positive, it does make you a stronger person. So much of growing up for me is realizing that the world isn't as kind as I thought it was when I was a child. It's really hard to realize that sometimes, but I can't let that stop me. I have to steel my nerves and power through it. I have no other choice. Maybe it's because I am black and a woman, a kind of double whammy of being at the bottom of the societal totem pole, but I'm just kind of used to thriving in spite of, well, everything, which I know is deeper and more serious than the surface level topic of this video. But I feel like the people you look up to letting you down is the first step in your adulthood metamorphosis. All the other stuff will come later, but once you realize the inherent imperfection of people, including the ones you look up to, everything else starts to fall into place.